New Falls Count Anywhere. We're recording this actually about a day and a half earlier. Actually, a day earlier than we recorded. I am a host, Ernest E.J. Christian. We recorded this, of course, September 23rd, 2025. We are now coming off the debut, ESPN debut on WWE debut on ESPN, WrestlePalooza. Of course, joined here every week. We do this with the man, Rob the Genius. He's 1/3 of the Mindfulness podcast, also the host of the Rob the Genius podcast. Rob, did you were able to watch WrestlePalooza, were you? Because I was not.
Yes, I just beat the clock actually because I was trying to get the thing to work on my smart TV.
Yeah,
and it was not working. So and like it wasn't just I wasn't able to get it through like the ESPN app on my smart TV. And so I just went on my laptop and I went to the ESPN website and
right.
there's a live tab and I clicked on there. And since I'm still a caveman and has to have cable, yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. But we were told though, Rob, that if you had cable, you were fine. We were told this.
Well, I mean, I was ultimately, but I couldn't get it to come through on my on the TV, so I had to just watch it on my laptop. So now I got what 2 weeks to figure out how to get this stuff to play on my TV
For Crown Jewel, right?
Yeah,
bro. I had a rant on the pod earlier today on my regular solo Tuesday podcast, and I had a rant on this, and I said, listen, every wrestling fan is gonna have a breaking point with this all this shit the WWE's doing. We discuss ad nauseum in this show all the time. All the things they're doing with the WrestleMania changes to go from New Orleans, Vegas, moving into Saudi Arabia, ticket prices going through the roof, X, Y, and Z being moved around, ESPN. Every individual wrestling fan is gonna have a breaking point. I think I'm reaching mine right now. Because I don't look, the only way I can justify adding $30 to my budget is if that damn library comes along with it.
Yes.
Okay. I cannot justify paying $30 a month solely for PLEs because I don't need ESPN outside of that. So okay. I'm basically paying $30 a month for PLEs. That is it. Everything else, all the programming, Monday Night Football, NBA basketball, baseball, all the stuff they do normally, I already get. So I'm not paying anything else other than PLEs at this point. And for the record, I did not add to it. I did not get it. I missed it. I watched the highlights today for earlier, and there you go. So I don't know. I will have a decision to make in the next 2 weeks. I will say that.
Okay.
So, anyway, Palooza. We won't go through each match. We'll just go through the highlights of here. Okay. Obviously, the biggest highlight: Brock Lesnar destroys John Cena.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the entire match. I heard it was a good match. Now, the feedback I've gotten from this entire show is that people think this thing was dull. It wasn't worth the money. Like it was just the hype was the hype, but once the show happened, it was like, oh, typical. Is that true?
Because all right, on paper, it looked a lot better than it turned out. I'll say that. Because the thing with and Cena versus Brock, just nobody wanted to see that go the way it did. Okay.
The way it ended?
Just nobody wanted to see. Yeah, nobody wanted to see Brock just beat him in 8 minutes.
Oh, I did. I love everything happened there. I love that. The kids crying. I love that. Oh yes.
Okay, but it's not time for that. He's got 5 dates left. You can do that with Cody. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Who has years ahead of him, right? We're down. No, I mean this.
No, I get your point though. And, I'm just saying, and the best point he made was the fact there was the 5 dates left. How are you going to squeeze 5 dates, more storylines than 5 dates? Like if he was doing more Raws or more SmackDowns in between now and then, yeah, I could see, but yeah, I get that point.
And just it killed the crowd in the building, and put it with, I mean, you may have liked it. It's one of those things where you may have liked it, but most of the people were just like, "What is this shit?" And just from commentary I've seen online, and just from the mood, from what you could hear, the mood in the building.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, okay, this is the home stretch, and like the only okay, once he lost the belt back to Cody and switched back to being babyface, then now it's just this is the victory lap. I mean, I think that's what everybody want. Most people want just the victory lap. He just come out there, have a few more matches, and get a hand raised, and if you get to see him, you get to celebrate.
Right.
I mean, that's where we are with this now. Um,
We assume anyway.
well, I mean, where we should be. I'm going to go ahead and say that's where we should be. Um, it's just it's not. I mean, it's just not time to do it. No, this was not time for that. And basically, it was like a shorter rerun of the SummerSlam match that they had, back in 2014. But the difference is there was no point to doing it this time, because I mean, Brock doesn't need anybody to Brock didn't you know Brock didn't need to get certified. All right, and there's like, I mean, the only purpose to do this is to have him, if he beats Brock in his last match. But I mean, nobody. I mean, okay, again, most of the people watching most people didn't want to see that. It just put a sour taste in everybody's mouth. Um, and yeah, just this is not the time for that. Look, okay,
I mean, but it does add, it does beg the question though, if they're doing this now this late in the game, and we're as you say, expecting something to be, the victory lap, of course. What's next? Because I think here's the thing. I think that had more to do with Brock, I think. By the way, I tweeted this the other day. He looks fantastic.
oh
Bro.
yeah,
Bro. He hasn't looked this good physically since 2002. Like he's cut. Yeah, he's cut like he was like 2002, 2003, 2004. Like he has looked this good physically since then. It makes sense that this is more, I think, about Brock and how they're going to use him. By the way, I got goosebumps watching Paul Heyman walk out there out of nowhere and intro him.
yeah. And look,
Got goosebumps.
that's the most out of all that's the most viewed highlight video from the PLE. Heyman introducing Brock. Um, but okay, I get it. Brock just came back. You don't want Brock losing.
Yeah.
And just have him get disqualified or something, man. And then, I mean, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Like, this is look, one thing, AEW did it right with Sting. Okay, they knew nobody who paid money to come see Sting was coming to see him lose. Okay, and so he didn't. Okay, the whole time he was there, he didn't lose a match, and nobody wanted to see that.
I feel you.
And we're at that point, like with Cena. I mean, we're at that point now where, I mean, I mean, yeah, I mean, I mean.
No, I get it, man. I totally get it. And I think the reason why this might be the case is because I think there's something bigger on the back end of this for Brock. I mean, this is the thing. You're frustrated, and I get that, and I see your point. I know I disagree with you. I do think this frustration might lead to, okay, so what are they doing exactly? This is where WWE does they do historically do well. Like, remember what happened with Bianca Belair back in 2022 when she lost to Becky at the SummerSlam, and in the moment we were all pissed off, and this didn't make no sense. How she loses to Becky in 8 seconds, and then they pay it off. They didn't eventually pay it off like 8 months later. This situation here, I think we may get paid off. I'm hoping we get paid off well on this storyline. Now it may hurt Cena, but whatever. He's leaving anyway, so whatever.
But no, I'm sorry. I'm over this obsession people have with, putting people over on their way out the door.
Yeah, okay? But if there's one guy really that if Cena want to get destroyed, one guy, you have to admit this is the guy that makes the most sense. Like if it was a Sami Zayn doing this or some random, really good wrestler, but whatever, I can understand it. Brock Lesnar doing this shit makes the most sense because it's Brock Lesnar. And
Okay,
not only that, look at the way he looks now too. On top of that,
okay. So now, I mean, if he beats Brock in if he beats Brock in his last match, then okay, fine. But if it doesn't happen, then this was just I mean, if you want to feed somebody to Brock, just to show that he's back, pick somebody else, man. I mean,
no, I get it, man. I get it. I think where I think I will agree with you is this: rather than him beating Cena, the DQ thing would have been something I would have looked at too to keep Cena above water. But I do think the idea of destroying Cena, I love that. Not because I hate Cena, obviously, just because it makes sense. And again, I think this is a bigger picture. I think Brock is I think they're going to book Brock for something here very soon. The fact that Paul Heyman is already, I'm not sure if it's official yet. If Heyman and him are boys again, and he's going to be involved with Heyman and Seth and whatnot. But this is setting up something where if that's the case, then we're probably getting one more big Brock run here.
okay, and I mean, I just beating 50-year-old John Cena, really? What's that doing for him?
I mean, Brock's not much more younger than he is either. He's like 40.
No, but it's just like, okay, Sting didn't lose because there was nothing to gain from beating a 60-year-old Sting. He was 60 years old. Everybody knew it, right? I just,
But we also should be surprised too, also, because Cena did say in his promo before the match that, I may get destroyed by Brock, but I'm gonna keep fighting. So he kind of teased it. He kind of teased the fact that this is probably gonna happen. I'm not gonna beat Brock. He might fuck me up. Like in the past.
I just, or maybe look, if they had some 20-minute match, there's some Titanic struggle and Brock pulled it out, okay. But he there's no need for him to. No, I mean, just beat him up in 8 minutes.
You really hate this shit, don't you?
No, not now. Not now. In 2014, it was okay.
I'm kind of surprised
but not now.
But honestly, bro, I'm kind of surprised you hate it because I figured. Well,
because there's nothing to gain by it. He's leaving. There's nothing to gain. But what are we gaining? We need to put over Brock Lesnar. I mean,
I think the reason with the gain is I think this is for Brock. I think it's for Cena. I think Cena's game in a favor. I mean, now the thing is this feud done now? Because I think Cena's.
I think because it looks like it, and that's the other thing. It's just it was pointless then. I mean, you could have. I mean, if you want to feed somebody, Brock, and feed somebody else.
So I think Cena's, if I'm not mistaken, is wrestling AJ Styles.
He is. They already announced it, and it looks like he just basically went on Twitter and was like, "What y'all like? Hey, y'all want us to do this next?" And people said, "Yeah," which tells me that he wasn't really in on this. That basically that with this thing with Brock, he basically did what he was told to do, and he wasn't really feeling it either. But he's a company guy. He doesn't. He does not. He doesn't. If it's to somebody who's worth the victory, then he'll go out there and do the job.
Right.
But it seems to me like he wasn't really he wasn't really excited about it either. Because why? I mean, again, why?
We should ask Duke.
No purpose.
You know what? I should text Duke right now and ask him how you felt about this match.
This serves no purpose.
I'm out of curiosity. Tomorrow morning.
What rub are we giving to Brock Lesnar in 2025?
I want to see you Duke get into it about this because if Duke agrees with me and or whatever or disagrees with you, for example, I want to see you and Duke get
Duke is a fed bootlicker now. Okay, he's a damn near employee now. Okay, everything they do is great to him. He's on part of payroll.
No, I already told Duke, man, you are a fucking WWE shill. Like you are. No,
like I hope they're paying him. I hope he's on payroll. He's acting like it.
The thing is, I agree with you though. I agree with you 100% on that. Here's my question, T. Rob. We'll get into another match here from Palooza. Are they teasing a Jey Uso heel turn? I feel like they are a little bit.
No, I think it's just he's starting. Roman said about a month or so ago that you need to start, you need to start thinking about yourself more, and so he's doing that. But no, he's not turning.
I'm not saying he's going to turn, but
Who
they
wants
kind
to
of.
see that?
I agree, but dude,
Who
I mean,
wants to see that?
I don't want to see it either. But at the same time,
Then
like the
you
whole.
don't do, no, you don't no.
I
See,
agree with you 100%.
this is overthinking, and this is this okay.
But you
No,
said though, think about yourself. In the wrestling parlance, when you're selfish, those are heelish qualities.
right, and then what's going to happen is he's going to realize that shit ain't going to work, and then it's gonna not work in time for and then look, I mean, War Games is coming up. They're going to be on the same team, and he's going to realize that hey, this selfish thing doesn't work for me. So
Right. Because I get the whole him and LA Knight thing. That part I get.
yeah,
But beyond that though, but I feel like there's something. There's a different look in his eye lately. There's a different look in his eye last night on Raw. A little different look in his eye, I will say.
okay, but again, why do you want to turn him heel? Why?
Did you watch Raw last night?
Yes, and
Okay.
it was better than the PLE by far.
Well, you told this is why we call it episode today WrestlePalooza. There you
Yeah.
go. Go ahead.
But no, again, that would be just that would be a total brain fart. Okay, um, nobody wants to see that. Okay, because Jay's whole thing is is coming through the crowd and all and all of that. I mean, is he going to stop doing that? I mean, see, no,
Yeah.
no, nobody wants to see that.
All right. No, I mean the Usos are back together again pretty much. Jimmy's been helping out
Yes,
LA Knight here and there.
and there's going
Yeah.
so there's going to mean that they're going to have a bumpy road for the next few months, of course.
But I will say though, in we're in the fall now. This is compelling storytelling. They're doing a good job making some compelling stories here. The Brock thing has me bought in now. Even though Jey Uso may or may not turn heel, he's probably not gonna turn heel. It's a tease. Just a tease alone, Rob, though, fills in some gaps until we get to Royal Rumble.
Well, I think it'll be settled by then. Look, it'll be settled when they all come back together for the War Games. I mean,
Yeah.
but I mean, yeah, but it does. Yes, it does. I mean, it does. It does help. It does add something.
Yeah.
Then the biggest and one of the most important things to remember, like with the whole bloodline thing, is they firmly established these characters and who they were. That's why, uh, that's why these little hints and whatnot kind of, they
They
stand out
matter.
like they do because Jay has an established personality. So is Jimmy, and so is Roman. So Roman telling him you need to be a little more selfish. That's not just a throwaway line because we know we've watched for 5 years. Jay has been throwing himself on a grenade for everybody. And so it is good storytelling and it is good play on the character. Uh, I don't think, but like no, I don't think it's turning. That'd be stupid.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100% on that. But doesn't mean they wouldn't at least attempt it for the sake of storytelling. We got a new WWE Women's World Champion now.
Yes,
Stephanie Fakir. We're not surprised. We both picked her to win the match against Io Sky.
yeah, and I said it was for the reason the way that the story was going with Io and Asuka, it made more sense for Io to not win.
Yeah. This is the time of year they do. This is the time of year to experiment on things. I kind of feel like this is gonna work though. I'm kind of like unlike the Nikki Cross thing a couple years ago and Liv Morgan a couple years ago when they experiment on this time. I feel like this is gonna work. I like her work in ring. She's a good, pretty decent on the stick. She's very attractive. I would text you guys that she's fucking gorgeous. Number one. All right. Kind of feel like she has a chance to really look. I don't think anyone's reaching Rhea's, Q rating, of course. No one is at this point. But if there's someone right now in the middle of the ranks that has a chance to really gain some ground and get at least to a level where it's maybe flirting with that, I think she has opportunity to get there. Your thoughts?
Okay, where Rhea is so far ahead of every woman on the roster. and then because it's like it's a combination of factors that and like I don't you can't predict anyone else getting there. Do I think Stephanie has a chance to become one of the kind of women in the world title rotation going forward? Over the next few years, yeah. Um, and no, I think well, I mean, Nikki Cross. It was a cute idea, but then after it's over, she's women's champion and she's in a goofy superhero costume, and she's 5 feet tall, and and that just was never going to stick.
You even knew in real time that thing was dead from the start. You even knew in real time, like this ain't working, bro. This is not working, bro.
Well, and it was just a temporary thing anyway. I mean, it was never designed to be like she was just there to cash in the briefcase and hold the belt for a few weeks and lose it back to Charlotte. Basically, that's what it was there for.
She was basically a placeholder.
Yeah. And with Liv, it was just they didn't that was kind of booked on the fly also because she was originally supposed to just lose it right back to Ronda. But then they tried playing around with kind of turning around the heel, so they had to keep it a little bit longer. And that one really didn't that didn't go so great. I think Stephanie's a better wrestler than either of them. So I mean,
she's a fighting chance to make this work.
Oh yeah, and it's just again, but again, you don't as with all these people who were holding these belts for the first time, you don't really know until after they've lost it, and then whether will they get another crack at it or what? But I think she'll do well. You just gotta let it play out and see how it goes. They got to book her some. They need to book her some. Sometimes they need to book her a story though, and not just have her go out there and do matches because that's a good way to end up. Because right now, I mean, you got this stuff going on with Io and Asuka and Rhea Ripley, and then you got this stuff with Becky and AJ on Raw. If Stephanie's just going out there and just having matches, then she did that. That's I mean.
No, I'm with you. Yeah. What do you think of the mixed time match?
It was too damn long. I mean, it was 30 minutes.
If I'm not mistaken, I heard someone say that was AJ Lee's longest match of his career.
Yes.
Yeah.
And put it this way, if it had been 15 minutes, it'd have been perfect. Mm-hmm. But it was 30 minutes. It was too damn long, and it went from like a fun match. It turned into
a slog.
It turned into a circle jerk. Okay. And like
a circle jerk?
Yes, it was a 4-way.
I watched the edited version. I watched the recap 3-minute version that WWE pumps out every week.
Yes, because it turned into like they were all doing stuff to pop themselves, right? Basically, and
it's annoying.
I mean, and look, I mean, now I've seen basically there are two opinions on this match. Mine is there are people who agree with me that it was just too damn long and it got self-indulgent. But then there are people who were just really happy to see her back and they didn't care. Okay, they didn't care about this. So personally, I guess because now I guess I was never a big fan of hers anyway. I was indifferent. Okay. But there are definitely some people who loved her to death and thought she was the greatest thing ever when she was active before. And so, for them, this is like the greatest thing ever. And I won't argue with. I'm not going to argue with them and tell them that. Well, no, you're wrong. I'm not going to do that. But for me, again, I was pretty indifferent to her when she was there the first time. So for me, it was too damn long. Okay,
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you on that one. I'll be honest with you. I know you and I had said on the show last week that we would like to have seen a Drew McIntyre title run, a chance for him to get the title win and win this match against Cody. Yeah. Tell you what, they had me convinced for a while that this might have happened again. This is what I call experimental season. If you're gonna try things in September, October, November, December, might as well try it now. But they didn't do it. Although
And
I
this,
will say the way they booked it was fine though.
well, it was
He
a
looked strong. He
flat.
looked strong in the
Like
end.
again, it went over flat. And I mean, just from the reactions, I saw that night, and even like in the building, I mean, it was just kind of like, yeah, it was a bit flat. Or because then it was like I thought they had a chance to really do a nice that you could have done a nice program with Drew and Cody through the end of the year or into January. I thought, but basically this was just a one-off match, and they immediately shifted to the crown jewel champion versus champion match with Seth Rollins, and so for me, if that's what you were doing anyway, then don't book this match,
Yeah.
because to me, it feels like it's a wasted opportunity to me. Um, they could have gotten more out of this with Cody and Drew, and instead they just again they did a one-off match, and now it's and yeah, it's just to me it was a flat inning. I mean,
I will say though, they made him look strong in the end. Drew looked strong. Like he didn't lose. He lost clean, yes, but only because he got hurt by the trying to break his face outside the ring by the announce table and hurting his knee
but even that was kind of convoluted because the referee was
in the
turning,
way.
and yeah, and so like, why was the referee doing that?
Yeah, but I think Wade Barrett said as such too. What is he doing in the way?
And yeah, exactly, and it was just kind of dumb. I mean,
I agree with you on that.
you
Why
know,
was it booked? Why was that way in the first place? Beyond me.
so that and then the tag team match with the Usos. I mean, that was just all right. As far as I know, they didn't announce it as a no DQ match, right?
Yeah.
As far as I know. And then, LA Knight was a special referee, and he just said, let them use chairs and in tables. He just let them do it, right?
It's so
And
inconsistent. I mean, I hate when it's so inconsistent with these things.
well, because the whole point of having a special referee is that during the match, the way they enforce the rules, that's why you have them there. So for them to enforce the rules a certain way and for it to cause tension between them and the people who are in the match, right? And so he just let them use chairs and let them bring a table in the ring. And there were a couple of times where he argued with them with all the guys, but it didn't hit the same. I mean, what are you arguing about if you let somebody bring a chair in the ring, then what are you arguing with him about later? What are you arguing with him about later?
Right.
And it was just, yeah, and then unfortunately they had to, I think, I don't know how long it was supposed to go, but they had to call it early because Jay busted himself open. He got caught on a recoil when he swung a chair, and he busted himself open. And they just had to get out of there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, from what I saw, it was a solid match, but yeah, convoluted spots too. Also, so like I said, I keep hearing everybody talking about this being a dull PLE, and maybe I have to watch the entire thing, um, without getting cut. I watched an edited version, so I saw all the highlights. So I didn't get a chance to really look and see what was dull. But if people are saying it, then it's pretty much I'm gonna believe it. It was kind of dull. You even said yourself it was kind of meh. The Raw was better than Palooza. Again, the
Well,
hype was big, but the actual product was eh.
and also, I mean, and you got to put this in context also that this is in the middle of, you know, a bunch of people had to either sign up for a new app and pay $30,
Yeah.
and then some of us who, and even like me, I had to fumble around to figure out how to watch it. So that in itself, I mean, in light of all of that, and in light of knowing there's all this news that more price increases are coming, and we saw those prices for the WrestleMania tickets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they are like they're doing things that irritate us. And so one thing that happens is that we become, we start putting more scrutiny on the product
Yeah,
because now you're asking me to do more things to get this thing.
as we should.
Yeah, I mean, and like, again, if this was just another thing on Peacock, and then we all watched it like we always do. I mean, then maybe it would have been, people would have been more lenient.
Yeah, you're saying
But
that people are already huffing and puffing coming into this damn thing, so you're already unhappy and frustrated and annoyed, and then and then the product did not make you forget that. In other words,
basically, that's what it
yeah,
was.
right.
Yeah, it was
That
not.
makes sense. It makes a lot of
It was.
sense.
It was not good enough to to get us over the irritation.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I just added this topic last minute because I remembered I wanted to touch on this and I forgot to add it to my list of things. Did you see the Bleacher Report's top 25 women's list all time? They released last week.
Yeah, I read through it.
Okay, I'm
And
gonna read off the listers real quick. The top 25 guys, ladies rather. I'm gonna go from 25 to 11. Okay, going
okay.
backwards. Okay, so 25 we got Michelle McCool, 24 Jacqueline, 23 Bull Nakano, sorry, 22 Shayna Baszler, 21 Alundra Blaze, 20 Liv Morgan, 19 Alexa Bliss, 18 AJ Lee, 17 Mickey James, 16 Natalia, 15 Beth Phoenix, 14 the Bella Twins, 13 Io Sky, wow, 12 Paige, and 11 Ronda Rousey. Yo, this thing reeks of like bias, recency bias.
And also they did this to basically to generate to
Clicks, controversy,
yeah,
clicks.
this was a click.
They did this on purpose because right now, in no world is Alexa Bliss 19. She should be much higher than 19.
Yes, she should be higher than 19. Jacqueline, Jacqueline's great, okay, but her best wrestling was outside of WWE.
Right.
Okay, so look, I mean, I appreciate them recognizing her, but again, they put her at 24, so that this is token recognition, you know.
I agree. Let's switch in there to just to say, hey,
Yeah.
um, Shayna Baszler has no business on this list at all. Sorry, she hasn't done anything worth a damn.
If we're talking, I guess we're talking main roster.
Yeah,
And,
NXT. If it's talking NXT, then I'll. But even then, though, how much could you do? What was it? How long was she there? 2 years? A year?
well, she's. I mean, if we're just talking NXT, she's top 5.
Oh, that part I get. But how long was she in NXT for? Because wouldn't time served matter too also?
She was there about 3 years.
Okay, then that makes sense then.
Okay.
AJ
Right.
Lee. Oh, go ahead. You're gonna say.
Okay, so Alundra Blaze should be higher.
I agree with that.
21. Because in that time during the 90s, she was the women. Her and Bruno Kano, they were the women's division. So Alundra Blaze should be higher than 21. And so should Bruno Kano. And Bruno Kano should be higher than 23. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Liv Morgan 20. I'd have to think about it because I mean she's come a long way in the past couple of years.
Liv Morgan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I'm
I
with you on
don't
that
know
one.
that. I don't know that I still might be able to name 25 more people before I get to her though.
Yeah, without question. Beth Phoenix is a little, I would say a little low, but whatever.
Because where she's
15.
See, I think that's about right.
Okay.
Yeah.
AJ Lee is 18. Again, I didn't watch her in real time. I would say watch her in hindsight. Okay, she feels about right, I guess. If you're gonna go based on that.
Okay. Well, again, the people who were fans of her loved her to death.
That's what I'm saying. And that matters. But that matters though too.
It does.
Call following matters.
But I don't know. I think it's Yeah, I'm not. I guess it's right. I mean, but
Io Sky. Oh God,
Io Sky,
she's too high.
that's recent because
Yes, world
she's
champion.
like, she's 13. That's recency bias.
Give it another year or two, then we have that conversation.
Yeah, I think she should probably be between 20 and 25.
What about Ronda at
Bella's
11?
can be higher. Look, you can hate on them all you want. Um, like they're one of the few women's acts that done like real business. Okay, and Nikki actually, at one point Nikki had become actually a good wrestler in her own right.
Yeah.
Um, but they should be higher because they meant more to the company than being at 14.
Here's what I'll say about that. There's a case that there's no case to put me lower. I'll say that much. Higher, I don't know who you're moving out. Okay, outside of Io Sky, Paige maybe. I don't know if there's anyone in the top 10 I would ever put below the Bella Twins.
Well, that's fair.
I think your top 10 is fine, to be honest with you. Quite as kept. Which we'll get to this right now. All right, here we go. Number 10, Lita. Number 9, Asuka. 8,
Well,
China. 7, Bianca Belair. 6, Bailey. 5, Sasha Banks. 4, Rhea Ripley. 3, Trish Stratus. 2, Charlotte Flair. And number 1, Becky Lynch, which I completely disagree with, for the record. But, we'll get to that in a second. Lita, it's about right. I have no problem with that. About right.
I'm scrolling through now because I pulled it up. Okay, Lita 10. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay, Oscar 9. Oh, yeah, Oscar 9. No problem with that whatsoever. One of the best female workers in the history of the company.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's one of those things. Like at first glance, I say higher, but it then becomes a question of who you're moving down.
Right.
China,
right. China 8 doesn't bother me. I'm telling you why. I know we've discussed in the podcast in the past what lists we've done on the show. Obviously, her in-ring work is very shoddy at best, but you can't deny the impact.
Oh well, no, exactly. And honestly, if we're talking about business, she's top 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, I mean, so because she was not much of a wrestler, but like her impact on business was so high that I think 8 is probably about right. If we're including everything, ring work and popularity and all that, then 8 is about right because to me the ring work brings it down.
Right. So this is where I'm a little bothered here. Number 7, Bianca Belair. So I feel like she's low here because she's kind of cooled off the last couple of years, last year or two. Am I speaking out of pocket here?
Okay. I would have her ahead of Bailey.
I would too.
Okay.
I've had her Sasha too also.
That's tough because
she beat Sasha first off WrestleMania in the main event.
So
and she's been the most consistent. She's more consistent than Sasha, more dependable than Sasha in the company anyway.
Yeah, but I'll say this: people forget now because she's gone. But up until she left, Sasha was for the entire. If you look at the entire time she was there, she was other than Ronda, because Ronda's a different animal, because of she was a big star outside of wrestling before she got there. But out of the women who were wrestlers only, she got called up to the main roster in 2015. From 2015 to 2022, I'd say she was the consistently most popular woman there. Like there were times like Becky pulled ahead of her at one point, and I mean Alexa Bliss had a moment where she was ahead of her, but Sasha was never lower than like the second most popular woman in the company, and she's an outstanding wrestler. She had all these great matches. And if we're talking about just consistently pulling like TV ratings and YouTube views and things like that, she was always consistently better than all of the other women there while she was there. At that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so, but now, I mean, it's kind of in vogue to talk her down now because she left, and and also because she chose to go to the other company, right? But now again about being reliable, that's true. Um, but now that's a well, I mean, but that's a backstage thing. That's not an on-screen thing, right?
No, agreed. But that kind of also matters too, also, because now you're getting away the business now.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, you're right. So now I think,
And,
look,
I'm not saying she wasn't justified for doing what she did at times, because Vince is not easy to work with. And I get that, but at the same time, we're grading based on consistency here, we're going to be consistent too, also.
well, I'm gonna put it this way: like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is arguably the greatest NBA player,
Yep.
but he's not. He's not. Is he the greatest Milwaukee Buck? Probably not. Okay, right?
I think it's Giannis now, but
Yeah, I
anyway.
mean, that's what I mean. So it's that kind of thing, right? Um, you lose points because you left, right? I mean,
Yeah.
or maybe Kareem's not the best example,
No,
but
I'll give you a better one. LeBron James, Miami.
right, yeah, no, yeah, LeBron James is not. He's not the greatest player in the history of Miami Heat. Hell no.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, LeBron James in LA too. Lakers, same thing.
yeah, he's not the greatest Lego. He's not the greatest Heat. Um, he isn't, right? I mean, um,
He's the greatest player to ever play for those teams. No. But yes, correct. But he's not the greatest Laker or the greatest Heat player.
right. So Sasha very well might be if you look at everything, you know, she very well might be in all aspects the most talented woman to ever.
Without question.
But is she the greatest WWE woman wrestler? Well, no, man, because well, again, you got to factor in that she left, and that's so because if she never comes back, then that means she was there 7 years and on the main roster, and we're getting to a point now where Becky and Charlotte are already there longer than her, and so is Asuka and Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
And now, Bianca's been on the main roster since 2020.
Yep.
So
She's inching closer.
in another year or two, she'll have been there longer. So it's just, yeah, you're getting to a point now where more of these women will have had longer careers there than Sasha did. And so you have to take that into account. Um, if this list was made at the time she left, then she might be number one. Okay. Or number two, really.
Yeah. No. I don't think you ever get number one. I think, honestly, I think they convoluted these number one, number two anyway, to be honest with you. So Sasha at 5, Rhea Ripley 4. I'm not bothered by this because if I took all 25 of these ladies and I said Q rating, Rhea Ripley has the biggest Q rating of anybody in this list that we've seen to her in terms of how popular she is now in this last 2 years.
That and then
I don't think it's close, to be honest with you, Rob, quite frankly.
well, the past 2 years is not. No, the past 2 years is not. And it's just well, it's just honestly, and it just is a question of how long. And again, it's a long, just we're asking the longevity question now, right?
Yeah.
So she came to main roster in 2021. First couple of years, she kind of meandered around a bit. They were trying to figure out what to do with her. But since 2023, she's been
Red
far
hot.
way ahead of every woman on that roster.
There's a conversation that right now for the last 2 years that outside of Roman Reigns and maybe Cody Rhodes, she's the most popular star on that roster, male or female. And there's an argument. And there's an argument that she's in that conversation with Cody and Roman.
No, she's not. She's not. No, she's
No,
not.
I'm saying in terms of popularity.
No, nobody's in room. Nobody's in room. Nobody's in room.
Oh God, you such a fucking Roman homework. You and Jay, who's worse? You and Jason?
Okay, the difference. Okay, I look at numbers. I actually look at numbers. Okay,
I look at crowd support though too, also, and I look at fans and how they react. And
okay,
geez.
I look at numbers. Okay, trust me. Like Roman is still far ahead. Roman is still ahead of everybody. There's Roman and then there's everybody else.
Right.
Okay. Um,
And Rick, I agree with you on that. I'm not saying Roman isn't. I think Roman is and has been for quite a while, since 5 years now. I'm just saying that Rhea has at least been one star that has inched right there in popularity Q rating with those two stars, Roman and Cody.
now, okay, what I will say about Rhea is right now on the women's side, um, she is she's the one woman right now who can just show up and 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 it'll do some numbers. Like everybody else, you know, it's got to be, now some do more than others, but everybody else, it's got to, it's got to be right match, right story, right opponent. Um, she's the only one on the women's side. She's the only one who she can just show up, okay, and do some good numbers. Now, Roman will just show up and do huge numbers, okay. Like, I mean, Roman's had some things to get like 5 million views, and all he did was walk out there and punch a few people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And like Rhea doesn't get up there, like, but she's far ahead of she's ahead of all the other women right now, for the past couple of years. And so I think it's just with her, it's a longevity question, right? I mean, if she does this for another 10 years at the same level, then you could say she's number one. It's just a matter of getting there.
Right. I'm with you 100%. 3, Trish Stratus. This is a longevity thing. This is a legacy thing. I don't disagree with that. I don't think I think the longer we get into the prioritizing of the female division as we have in the last 10 years, she'll fall little by little, because I think, for example, Rhea, Sasha, Bayley, Bianca are all, in my opinion, better than Trish Stratus.
Oh, no, I mean, there are a lot of women who are better wrestlers than Trish Stratus. That's Now I think one thing that works in Trish's favor is she has a like multi-generation fan base going back. Like, there are people our age who are from the Attitude Era, and there are people who came into her Ruthless Aggression, and then there are people who have come in more recently as she's coming.
Her wrestling recently, the last couple of years, doing a couple of spots here and there, has helped her, because they're reminded of her now. And then we go back and watch her. It's like, oh, okay, this is what the hype was all about. Get it now.
Now, before we go further, there's one name they left off of this list. That
can I guess? I'm gonna think about it real quick. Is she a current wrestler now?
Yes, she just went to take a break.
Ooh, I don't shoot. I'm crying my brain with this one. Go ahead. What is it?
Naomi.
Yes.
Look. Again, Jacqueline's great. Love Jacqueline, but
Naomi's better.
Naomi's had a much better WWE career than Jacqueline. Stop. I mean, come on, really? Yeah. I mean,
it's one of those out of sight. You know what it is? I think this was made out of sight, out of mind.
What? She ain't only been out of sight for a couple of weeks.
Well, after she left, went away.
I mean,
I agree with you
at all. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, she's a 3-time women's champion.
Mm-hmm.
She's been a tag team champion. She's won Money in the Bank. She's been in the big matches. She's had some big spots in some big matches. And having her not on the list at all. No, I'm sorry. And then again, like she should be on that list before Jacqueline.
No, I'm with you 100%. I'm having the bottom of the list, because probably between 18 and 23, if anything. But
I'd have to go over Shayna Baszler.
Oh God, yeah.
I would have her over Liv Morgan.
Liv Morgan. Ooh, that's a tough one. Because even though what I'm saying is that even though Liv has been a champion twice, Um, I think Liv and Naomi have a similar career in a sense where, like, although Naomi was a better worker anyway, longer, but she was misused. Liv is now finally gaining ground after all these years. Um, no, I thought Naomi had Liv Morgan, yeah, but I think it's more neck and neck than you realize though. Um, yeah, I put her ahead of like Michelle McCool, Jacqueline, Shayna Baszler. Yeah, she should be in that 18 to 22 range.
Yeah, I didn't say her number one, but she should be on the list.
Yeah, I agree with 100%. Yeah.
Um,
Um, but now I think this is controversial. 1 and 2. Becky Lynch should not be number one. I understand why she's number one because she was for a year and maybe even 2 years the biggest name in the company. Before Roman's run as tribal chief, when I came back to watch Rob, when I came back to watching wrestling in 2019, in June of 2019, Becky Lynch was the most popular star in the entire company.
yes.
Okay, and she was that for about a year and some odd months. Okay, then COVID happens. Roman turns a couple months later, and she's pregnant. She goes away, and then all that momentum went away. Having said that, if we're having a Q rating argument, I agree Becky over Charlotte. Bigger picture, she's not better than Charlotte Flair. Stop.
Well, you know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
But
In fact, I think Becky's too high in general. I think I would at this point right now, if I'm looking at it fairly, I would take the following over Becky Lynch now on the list. I would take Charlotte over Becky Lynch. I would take Trish over Becky Lynch. Well, you know what? No. I'll phrase that. I'll take Rhea over Becky Lynch at this point now. Sasha, there's a case of Bianca, and then you can fill around to Bailey and her. Is Becky top five? Get top five.
yes, she's top
Yeah,
five.
you gotta get top five because she's was again when you're the biggest name in the entire company, even in
Yeah.
a downtime, that has to come with something.
Yes. So yeah, she's top five. I mean,
But there's way more. But there's more Ultra Warrior in Becky Lynch than you realize, though.
and now I now some of the stuff I'm reading the paragraphs here, and some of this stuff sounds like she wrote it herself. I mean, she's also proven selfless, using her stature to help elevate others. I mean,
Has she? I don't know. I'm not trying to shit on her, but
well, just she didn't book that thing with her and Bianca. Vince did that. Okay. It's not like she went to Vince and said, Vince, I have this idea. No, I mean, he booked that, and we'll see what happens with Lyra. I mean, because there was all that talk about, she's elevating Lyra, but then she won the feud. I mean,
having said that, Charlotte Flair's number one. I'm sorry, I don't care.
well, again, if y'all anybody
She's the most consistent wrestler in that division we've ever seen. She's consistent.
like won't be the argument here.
Just saying. Anyway, all right, go ahead.
Yeah.
Last thing. Yep.
Now Ronda, okay,
She's too low.
she's number 11. Okay,
She's an impact argument. That's all it is.
yes, exactly. She's an impact argument. If we're talking impact, she might be number one in terms of impact.
But you gotta have more than that, though. You gotta have more.
Well, yeah, that's true. And for those of y'all who think that I'm talking crazy, understand. Okay, yes, they would have had a better women's division over the past 10 years, whether or not Ronda came. Yes, because they were building that, they were creating that, but Ronda is the reason that they got more main events. Ronda is the reason that they main evented at WrestleMania. All of that was centered around her being in that main event. Okay, that was okay. And all the things that, happened to get us there. Again, getting more pay-per-view main events, getting to work different kinds of matches and all that type of stuff. All of that she was the seed basically for all of that. So in terms of impact, if you want to talk impact on the division, yeah, I mean, you could make an argument for her number one. Now, she was never much of a wrestler. I mean, if you put her in there the right people, in the right type of match, she could do well.
Yeah.
But no, she wasn't much of a wrestler. That's fair, and so I mean, 11 is probably right. I just feel that more needs to be said and written about just how much of an impact she had on the division.
Right. Right. All right. Just do a quick game. Heel or face. Heel or face. I pulled out 5 wrestlers, stars, of any era, out of the hat. All right.
Okay.
Basically, we debated if this wrestler was a better heel or better face throughout the career, because these wrestlers have been both throughout the career. All right, first guy, Big Boss Man, heel or face?
Heel. Because when he first came in, he was like truly like a menacing character.
Yeah.
And for me, I go back to when he was Big Papa Rogers in the NWA and he was Cornette's bodyguard.
Yeah.
And he was obviously working heel then. So for me, heel.
Yeah. It is heel for me as well, but I will say it's a lot closer to get credit for. He was a pretty good babyface in 1990, 89, 90, 91. I will say that was a pretty cool run. Some good matches too. Lost a lot of weight, and they were really trying to push him to the top. I don't know what happened. Why they didn't put the IC title on him in WrestleMania 7, but ultimately the reason why the heel is the winner is because that opening run out the chute in '88, feuding with Hogan out the chute. Imagine you start your job and your first feud is you feud with the biggest star in the company.
Yeah,
and it works perfection. It's arguably, dude, it is arguably Hulk Hogan's best feud, non-title feud of his career.
Yeah.
I think that and Earthquake, neck and neck. I mean, I was introduced to as a child, the Big Boss Man. I was stunned though how good he was and the character. Oh my god, amazing! So the answer is heel. But it is a little closer. People give credit for it. I will say that much. All right. Next one here, Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig.
Heel.
Yeah, it's heel too. Although the babyface thing wasn't that bad in '93. But much better heel. The cockiness, just everything's perfect. And no matter who you work with, whether it was Bobby Heenan or the coach or the genius, it was fact. It was amazing, and I think he is someone that people always say, why did they put a world title on him? I know you sent me that video that Cornette did. It's because of the era. That's all it was. Yeah. The era. If they put even new generation era booking into that era, he's getting a sniff of the title.
Yeah,
he's getting a sniff of the title.
And for me, and again, I think, and this was the thing Cornette said also. Back when he was AWA World Champion, he was the heel champion, and I think, look, that run he has is that as AWA World Champion as a heel. I think that's a big reason he landed in the WWE.
Right. All right. Next one here. This is Rob's favorite tag team. You want to guess?
Demolition.
Here we go.
Face.
Really?
I'd say.
Really?
Because to me, that's when I think they really came into their own when they did the double turn. And yeah, I think that's when they really started coming to their own and kind of show some of their own personality outside of just Mr. Fuji doing all the talking for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say face, because the when they were working heel, like the basically the Road Warrior ripoff label, I think stuck more when they were heels than when they were baby faces.
You almost sold me on taking face also too, but I'm gonna stick with heel because I did love the package with Mr. Fuji though. To me, that was their best run when they were booked as these dominant heels going to WrestleMania 4, beating on Strike Force. Yeah, I love the double turn with Powers of Pain and Survivor Series '88, and it was a good run. But to me, I think if you didn't have Fuji involved in that thing, I might run with you and say face. But Mr. Fuji as the bad guy with them and the first early of the run, That's what sold it to me more than anything else. So I have to go heel as well too on this one. But I think it's a lot closer to get credit for, and you almost sold me to go in face as well. You almost did. Yeah, Rob, congratulations.
Well, thank you.
All right, next one here. 2 more to go. Yokozuna.
Heel.
That's easy. Heel.
Yeah, I mean, the
Big
whole
monster.
gimmick, the whole character was meant to be heel. So yeah.
Yeah, it's easy. I mean, big monster. That whole '93 run, the title. Yeah, that's easy. Like even the babyface thing, I can't even. And granted, a lot of us also because of the fact that his health was not in order and whatnot. But you couldn't sold me to him as a babyface. I know he's a nice guy behind the scenes, but I just couldn't see that, man. It made no sense. Like heel, and it's not even close. So, and finally, here's a good one here. This is the little more modern here. AJ Styles.
Ooh,
That's hard. This is hard. I still haven't decided yet in my head yet. Convince me one way. Depending on you pick.
Okay, now I did not watch him in TNA.
Right.
So I've only watched him in New Japan and WWE.
It's tough, isn't it? I know it's tough. So let me ask you a question. As someone who didn't get the chance to watch him when he came to WWE in 2017 at the Rumble, or 2016 rather, did he debut as a babyface or a heel?
He debuted as a babyface.
Okay.
Because you kind of had to because
you need that pop.
Yeah, and so you're right. So you kind of had to debut him that way. Because when he came, because again, I'd only heard of him at that point. Because I got back in 2012. He was over in New Japan, I think mostly. So I hadn't watched him, so I never actually seen him at that point. So I used to say for people like me, he was like Batman basically. Like he was an urban legend, and you'd heard of him, but you never seen him, right? But that was truly and oh my God, I can't believe this guy's here moment. So I mean, you had to debut him as a babyface.
You know,
You know what? I think he's really good at both.
he's fantastic at both, actually.
Yeah, and
but I have an answer. I have an answer ready.
I'm gonna say heel because I think
that's
I think
that's the right answer.
As far as talking and character stuff and all that, I think his peak is heel.
His arrogant Southern accent works better as a heel than a babyface.
Yes.
And when I started watching 2019 again, he was part of the whole thing with Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, the whole like the OC, the club, or the whatever. I actually love that. I actually love that angle they did together. I actually loved them with the three of them, and he was a heel, and I loved it. One of the things about the 2019 thing that people, a lot of people shit on 2019 WWE, but when he was feuding with Ricochet, that summer 2019, I thought it was a good feud. That's some really good matches there. Yeah. I think he works better as a heel, honestly, as a cocky little Southern. I mean, it works better as a heel. That being said, it's very close. Like it's a nip and tuck between the two. So, but I have to, based on what I enjoyed, I mean, especially the fact. And here's a tiebreaker. Even if you were undecided, here's my tiebreaker. Undertaker's last match. He worked as heel.
Yeah. You're right.
It doesn't work. It was a baby face. So
no, not at all.
If you need a tiebreaker, there it is.
Yeah.
So definitely heel for me. So all right, one last thing to get you out of here. Just be quick though. But I just saw today that dropped a couple hours ago that apparently there is a Randy Savage biopic in the works. The product's being produced by Kenan Thompson and Johnny Ryan Jr. through the production company Artist for Artists. The working title for the film right now is Macho. A significant detail is that the script was co-written by Savage's late brother, Lanny Poffo, of course the genius, who passed away in February 2023, and Eric Shapiro, which gives the project a personal connection to Savage's life. As of now, the film is in its early stages of development, and no casting decisions or release dates have been announced. kind of shocked that. Now, granted, I'm not sure if a Savage is Savage big enough to get a film in theaters. I don't
Um,
know. As big as he is in the bubble, and people know him outside the bubble, but is Savage's legacy that big where you can pull people into theaters to see a movie on his life? I
I
don't know,
think
bro. And I'm the biggest
I
market in the
think
world.
I think in 2025, probably not.
Yeah.
Um, if pre-pandemic, I would say yes, because I mean he was. We talk about Q rating. He was like right after Hogan. I mean, basically. And even people and for, you can't forget like the Slim Jim commercials, right? I mean, those were everywhere. Um, and in fact, it's funny because Eric Bischoff told the story like that they didn't have to. That WCW didn't even have to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Slim
Because
Jim was
the
paying
Slim
all
Jim
the
deal,
money.
right? Correct.
Um, so yeah, I think if this was pre-pandemic, you absolutely could have put it in the theater. Yes. Um, now probably not because also now we're all older, and all of that. I think now, look, I'm sure it'll be great on Netflix or wherever. Um, but yeah, I don't think I don't think you do any a biopic on any wrestler now would get you a theater release now.
No,
Uh,
Hulk Hogan's the only one I think really that even remotely has a chance to get in theaters because of how big he was outside. The Rock had a TV show already. I
and
don't know
also,
if he can do that.
well, the other thing is like we've seen these guys so much now, right?
Yeah,
And there isn't much story to tell, really.
yeah, it's true.
I mean,
What,
and I
what,
mean, like, we see them, not just on TV, but we see them on social media, and they share so much of their lives with us. Um, they're just there just isn't a lot of story to tell now that
yeah,
would, like, what's there, what's there to put in a story in a movie now that we don't already know, and that we would, and I, not much, I don't think, and it would be enticing enough to get us. I mean, look, me and you, we'd go to the theater, you know,
yeah.
but I don't think just I don't think yeah. I mean, his story has largely been told, or at least to such a degree that I don't think you could put a movie in a theater about him. And yeah, I just don't think any
I,
wrestler right
I don't think
now.
I don't think any wrestler in general is theater worthy. I think the only one I can make a case for now, Hogan's one obviously because how big he is, but the only other one I can make a case for based on how his life actually turned out and all of the ebbs and flows is Ric Flair. Ric Flair
Yes,
is the only one I can see being intriguing because of his life, how his life played out, and you can do a lot with that, with a lot of the behind the scenes stories, the
yeah,
women, the drugs, all that shit, and I think those angles will make it worthwhile for a theater release. But
yeah. Because with him, I mean, like, he was adopted.
yeah,
Um, there was a plane crash earlier in his career.
there you go.
Um, you got stuff with him and Dusty. You got some of
Mm,
the matches. You could have scenes and some with some of the matches where he just dropped the title because the crowd was too hostile, and then you can make a scene out of that.
right.
Um, and then of course all the off the field stuff. I
Mm.
mean, there's a lot to mine there with him.
I I can see a case for here's two guys I can see a case for actually. Not saying it's gonna work out. Here are two guys I can make a case for based on their life. Bret Hart's one, and Shawn Michaels the other one. Shawn Michaels, especially, I think even more so because there are a
Well,
lot there are a lot of stories in Shawn Michaels' life that we hear in hindsight,
oh
before and
yeah,
after the good and evil thing, the drugs, the all the shit,
yeah,
and That
the
can
stuff
work out, I think.
the stuff with Brett, and yeah, I mean, and the miracle comeback,
Right.
and then going on, and going on to become the guy who runs NXT now, which was a complete, no one would have called that. If in 1996, if you had told, if anybody said that, in 30 years, Sean is going to be in charge of the developmental, you know,
And
wing.
stable and alive. And he's
And
alive,
first of all,
first
yeah,
off.
30 years he's going to be alive. That was, you know, that was a dicey proposition back in
Yeah.
1996. Um, but then also that he would be running the developmental, and that he'd be like a father figure to younger wrestlers, and all
Yeah.
of that. Yeah, I mean, nobody would have called that 30 years ago. And so yeah, I mean that's definitely that. Yes, you could definitely make a movie out of that.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm trying to think of other guys. What about John? I mean, John Cena has a pretty clean cut
yeah.
life. There's something
Now,
really intriguing there. I can see. Um, Brock Lesnar, maybe.
well, I just,
There's some dips there outside of wrestling that you can look into. It's like, maybe
well, I think
chop it up.
Brock is not. I mean, I think, oh, he's kind of got a cloud over his name right now.
Right, but if you took that out, especially, but even the cloud might actually help the case of the movie selling the movie, in a sense.
Yeah. So Sean definitely, Rick, yes.
Hogan, yes,
Now I guess,
especially.
I guess the problem with Hogan is just the last 10 years.
Well, you have to include that though. That's the whole point, because the end of his
Oh, yeah.
life is actually the most intriguing part of his life, actually out the ring. So technically,
Yeah.
yeah, that would work actually because of that. But there isn't
Um,
much though. There isn't much.
yeah, because most of these guys, I mean, like their lives aren't that, especially the more recent guys. Because like, look, I mean, those guys back in the '80s, they were all partying and doing cocaine.
Correct.
Um,
I think there's something there with Savage, because I think with Savage, you can sell him and Liz. You can sell territories. You can sell the paranoia. You can sell him and Hogan's on again, off again friendship. Um, so there's actually more than I realized. And as we're talking about this now with other wrestlers, I'm realizing Macho is more there, and in hearing the stories and people that work with them too, also, you can pull out things out of there and make it work. I think
yeah, I would say Piper, you won.
Piper's one of one. Warrior
Yeah,
be another one too. I think Warrior be another one too. Also, honestly,
I guess the only thing is that has such a tragic ending that
tragedy
that's a
sells,
hard,
buddy.
that's a hard
Tragedy sells.
sell.
No, you're right, but tragedy sells.
Yeah.
What is clear and what you said is true. They ain't nobody within the last 15, 20 years that I'm paying to go see a theater because it's not interesting. And quite frankly, the business is cleaner now than it was years ago.
Yeah, and I think, and again, like, and these people that they share so much about themselves now.
Yeah,
Um,
so true.
that, well, now you know what? If I had to pick one, you can, I think, get something out of Roman, even though look, and
Actually, you could
because
football
there are
player,
a lot of things there. Um,
family legacy.
there's that, there's the NFL not trying to get NFL, not getting in there because of the leukemia diagnosis. Then he
Yes,
gets,
that's another one too. Also,
then he gets into the business, and then the whole thing with the Shield, they were like big rock stars basically.
the challenging over for 6 years,
Yeah, I mean,
and then he turns heel and all that.
yeah, I mean, there's a
I
lot
no, I'm
there.
with you. I can see that. Absolutely can see that. How about Goldberg?
Not honestly, I don't think there's much there with that because, I mean, there really isn't. I mean, he didn't
What
wrestle that long.
what about on the female side? Let's see, female side.
Um,
Checking down female. So I'm checking the list that we did here. Ronda Rousey makes. I mean, that makes. I mean, that's obvious because he's just a big star.
yeah,
Charlotte, you can sell the fact she's Rick's daughter. But no
The-
one really here has a compelling story that I would say I would lean into heavy like that. No, I'm with you. There's no female here I can really see.
No, I think
Maybe China. That's it. China.
yeah, but again, that's another tragic ending.
Again, tragedy sells, buddy.
Yeah. Now I'd say okay. I don't think Charlotte is popular enough for the general public to do it, but I mean, her life story, there's a lot of ups and downs.
Oh my God! You read that letter that we reviewed a couple weeks ago on the show. That's enough there.
Yeah, between I mean the stuff with her dad and the marital thing.
There's your answer. There's your answer. It's Charlotte Flair. There's your answer.
And you know her brother dying, and you know all the just ups and downs of you know a lot of similar struggles to Roman. I mean, as far as you know, dealing with the crowd and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, so the story is there.
Yeah, there's nothing else here. I'm looking at this list. That's for sure. There's nothing else here really, other than China and Charlotte. That's it. That's it.
I mean,
maybe Trish, but
well, there's something there to how the women were treated in the locker room during her career.
Yeah.
And you know, fighting to overcome that, and then coming back. You know, so there's. I mean, I think you could put something together for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, a lot of, but yeah, I mean, just like the life stories with the ups and downs and the different twists and turns, that there really aren't that many.
Yeah, there's not much people there, but yeah, but basically, we're saying is generational. Like anything beyond, if you're wrestling in the '80s and '90s. And maybe early 2000s, you have a compelling story. But everything past 2002, 2003 is not really much there. I agree with that. Anyway. All right, Rob. Good show as always. What you got going on, Robert Genius? What's going on with wrestling?
Well, so on my own show, I'm in the middle of this NBA player project.
You and your fucking projects, bro.
Well, okay, but this one, I'm actually okay. I am going to bring to a conclusion. Because I've done the first half of it, and I did an episode where I talked about it and all of that
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so now I'm working on the second half of that now, and I promise I will pick somebody. I'm not just going to hem and haw for 40 minutes and say,
okay.
Well, you know, I am going to pick somebody, and I will live with that decision, and you all be free to agree or trash it.
When are you recording that next one?
Well, well, as I always do, I record things 10 times. So I've already done. I've done take one and take two.
Bro, if I was a producer, you would frustrate me to come to
hell,
bro.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'd be like, bro, pick your fucking episode, call it a day, bro.
Yeah, so I would. I've done 2 takes and dumped both of them already. So, you know.
Oh my God!
So I'm gonna take 3 now.
Take 3 on this one. Good Lord, you got too much time on your hands, bro. Just record and put it out, bro. Anyway, tell DJ and Jason to hello. Although we talk to DJ all the time, no big deal.
Yeah.
Of course, follow Rob on Twitter or at X or at Blue Sky at Arbon1. By the way, on IG, I'm gonna ask you this: what is your actual? Which one do you use the most? The Genius Fandom account or the?
That's the one. That's the one. That's the one that's open to the public, so to speak. My personal account I have it locked, and so you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have both, but I don't want to tag you in one if you don't want to use that one. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So anyway, I am on X at EasyChristian7. Falls count anywhere. Like I said, did the day earlier than usual, but you know things coming up on the pike, so we got to make some adjustments though. But of course, follow Earnestly podcast across all podcast catchers. Earnestly Pod, of course, on YouTube and on TikTok and on Instagram. Until the next episode, we will talk to you guys soon, and stay up.